Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. I've just stretched the paper here. This is £140 Saunders Waterford paper. Terrific paper, but mighty expensive. And I'm just leaving a thin film of water on the paper, and then just removing the excess from the sides so we don't create any runbacks. And straight into this now is Naples yellow. Just spread it out, and some quinacridone red to create the barrier when I place the blue in. Quick wash of the brush. Check the strength. This is Prussian blue with just a tiny touch of Venetian red, and I'm just, and as you pull it into the Naples yellow to ensure you don't get green, is don't go back into it again. This is a stronger mixture of the Prussian blue and Venetian red, as I want to add some shadow on this side a little bit, strengthening it up. Taking the Naples yellow once again, quinacridone red, just more Naples yellow here I think, Prussian blue and Venetian red, and the stronger mix of the Prussian blue and Venetian red maybe just in this corner here. Strengthen up this area once again. I've got the board laying flat, and as you can see, with this being lovely and wet, it will creep. I just need to let the shine go off the paper, and then we'll put some wet into wet trees in the back, but right at this moment in time it's just a little too wet to do that, and it will spread too far. Okay, now that has dried off a bit and the shine is just disappearing on the paper, I'm just going to lift out some paint from the tops of these trees, and I can still do this because the paper is still damp. Okay. This is a mixture of Prussian blue, quinacridone red and Indian yellow mixed to it's like a purpley grey colour, and I'm just going to test its strength, and I think that should be okay. And we're just going to put some indications of trees and in the background, and I'm just letting the brush run out of colour, which helps to pale it off as we go slowly into the distance. Just in this corner where this tree is, I just want a stronger indication as it comes onto this peninsula. Then once we have that, this is a grey mix of green, which is made up from Prussian blue, Venetian red and Indian yellow, almost like an olive colour. I just want to, that's just a little strong, so I'm just going to bring this down with a little bit of water. Just using some of the stronger mixture to indicate the darker shadow areas under the bush. And then while we have that there, burnt umber, French ultramarine in the bottom. Just to indicate a shoreline and a bit of dirt. Once again, not too strong, making it thinner as we come out towards the end of that peninsula. Maybe just indicating one or two more darker bushes closer to. I'm quite happy to let it bleed into the water, as it will help to create some reflections. This is Sonella Yellow Light, and I just want to add this to the tops of the trees. turning green as we come up to the top of the tree. Just putting some dark, it's the same colour as the background trees, but just a tiny bit stronger, and I don't mind that merging. Same on this side here, just putting the shadow sides in. Maybe just a few leaves down here. Taking a damp brush, just soften some of the edges. Just bring it together slowly. Some burnt umber here, French ultramarine, just to give the indication of some background detritus. Soften that edge. Ultramarine, burnt umber, mixed to a very grey, dark grey, almost black consistency. Back to these trees, and I'm taking this up to the top, but I'm allowing some of the yellow to show through. Some of it is starting to dry out and some of it is relatively dry, so you'll get a soft edge and hopefully you'll get a hard edge as well. Just dragging it down into the tree, moving on to the darker mixture of that colour, which is Prussian blue, Venetian red and Indian yellow. Just adding some dark in. This will help counter change. And the darker your mixture goes, the further into the centre of the tree it goes, because this will be in shadow. Strengthen it up here and there in this one. Always taking great care to make sure that your paper is at the right stage to accept the colour. And I think this is just slightly too wet at the moment, but I'm just going to carry this on and then I'm going to let it dry for a minute or two. Okay, I'm now going to let that dry for a minute or two and let the whole picture dry out slightly. Okay, now that this is basically all dry, it's still slightly damp, but we can move on with the painting. And I'm just going to put some tree trunks in. This is the background tree mixture of the Prussian blue, quinacridone red and Indian yellow. If it's easier for you to do this, you can turn the board upside down and do it that way, but I do the same to all the trunks, and we'll be adding a different colour in just shortly. I'll just do this one and then go back to the first one. I've got the board set at an angle of around about 25-30 degrees. Just pulling some branches out. And then into that, this is a mixture of French ultramarine and burnt umber, creating almost like a black. Very rarely are tree trunks brown. Well, I think it's been indoctrinated into you since we were children that you paint tree trunks brown. When in actual fact you'll find that they are 99% of them a grey-green colour, because they are in fact in the grass category. You wouldn't believe that, would you? Being as I have that in, I'm going to go back to the mixture of green, and I am actually going to drop some in. Making these nice and strong. Back to this dark mixture once again of the background colour. Just keep pulling some branches and twigs through the trees. and do the same to this one. Welcome back. Hopefully your trees are in and they look like that. I'm just taking a damp brush and I'm just bringing some colour down and bringing it into the ground and just attaching these trees to the ground. Also dropping in just a little colour along the way just to help. Once again, just dropping some colour in, adding some of that mixture to this green to make it even darker. And what I want to do is bring some darker tones to the undersides of the trees. This will help them to stand out a lot more by bringing in some extra shadow. Once again with a damp brush, just soften off the edges. Just pulling the colour down into the tree. We're going to leave that to dry. Okay, now it's all dried out really. I've just re-wet the whole of this land area up to about here, and we're going to drop some colours into this. This is Naples yellow. I'm also going to drop some Indian yellow into this as well, and I want to bring a kind of a sense of sunshine, as this is a summer scene. You might have guessed that with the use of colours. French ultramarine and burnt umber just along the edges here, just gently pulling some of this back into the land using the stroke of the brush, which will give you the lay of the land, or it will show you just how steep it is or not steep as the case may be. Prussian blue, Venetian red and Indian yellow, which is taking it to the kind of a little olive side, taking it to the olive side colour. I want some of that Indian yellow to show through. Also some of the darker green. It's the same colours as the used before, it just has more Prussian blue in it. Just want to create some areas of shadow under the trees with it, and then right under the tree, French ultramarine and burnt umber. I'm just going to add some shadow. Just to bring some really nice darks in. And if you look at the colour of green that I've mixed, which is the Prussian blue and the Venetian red with Indian yellow, you see it makes wonderful greens to use in a landscape. Very natural and really makes them stand out. Just here now, I'm just going to drop in some bushes while the paint is still wet, and I'm just going to vary the colours, and then just into that I'm just going to drop a sky colour, which is a Prussian blue and Venetian red, just to help bring some of the sky colour and tie all the colours together. And I think while we're here at the same time, we'll just put a couple of birds here. Maybe they're getting closer, so they're getting bigger. Now we're going to leave all that to dry. Okay, I've allowed everything to dry near enough, and what I've done is re-wet the water area up to here, all the way through, and with this we're just going to put some reflections in. So I'm just going to use a rigger brush and some of the greens that we've been using, and I've allowed the water to sit for a while on the paper, so it's not it just allows for the paint not to explode and go everywhere. And I hope you can see that it's not going everywhere, it's going basically where I want it to go. But I also don't want it to spread too far down, and I've left a little gap between the shoreline and where the water starts as a little separator. And now I can just begin to strengthen it up in areas where I think it needs it, gently teasing it down. Of Prussian blue, Venetian red. I'm just going to strengthen up this bit down here. The quinacridone red. And I'm just going to strengthen this bit here. And fade in this line. Just softening it. Naples yellow there. Just to bring the strength right. Once it touched the blue, it's to leave it so you don't get green. Now before I can put the reflections of the trees in, I'm going to let this dry off a little bit, so I'll join you in about 5 minutes. Okay, now that the lake area is dried out and the shine has gone off the paper, I hope you can see that. I'm just going to put some reflections in. I'm using a rigger brush for this and some burnt umber and French ultramarine. Don't get too much on the brush. Just test it first to see what the spread is. I do actually want the soft edges on it, to be honest. And at least with this you don't have to put the canopies in. Which can make you breathe a sigh of relief. Once I've had that in, I'm just going to add some of the real dark in the centre, which is the Prussian blue and burnt umber. Bring them together. Drop in the Prussian blue in. Burnt umber. This needs to be a little fatter, I think. Okay. And now we're going to leave the whole thing to dry out. And once it's dried out, what we're going to do is we're just going to put a couple of wind lines in with a craft knife, and then we'll be able to sign it. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, I've just put in a few wind streak lines with a craft blade and a ruler. But what I thought I'd do is just break this up at the back and put a fence in here with a craft knife, just exposing some of the white paper from underneath, and it just helps to break that the bushes up there, and it just adds a little bit more extra interest. And once I've put that in, now you get to the best bit, which is signing it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe. Subscription costs you nothing, and I'll leave a link in the description box where you can have a look at some other videos I've made for YouTube should you wish to. So I'd like to say thank you very much for watching.